What's up, Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar with the lovely...
Astonishing Melanie.
Yes, and she is joining me to talk about these new reprints from Marvel Comics, the Omnis. There are a few Omnis that are being reprinted, and we're going to look at this list. I'm very excited to talk about each one of these and why
He couldn't sleep last night! Alright, this is such a big deal. Go ahead and smash that like button. This is just... you blow your mind!
It's blowing my mind. It's for a few reasons, but I guess the very first thing, thank you to David Gabriel and everybody at Marvel for giving us early access to these books. There's a couple things I wanted to say. The first thing is that I just recently announced the first 15 Omnis coming out in the last quarter of 2020. And then this, now we have some reprints. And normally, with that many Omnis, they would leave us room for about 4 or 5 more books. But we got just a couple more. So keep that in mind. And the other thing to keep in mind is that if you all follow the solicits when you come and join me for those live episodes, you know that Marvel loves sneaking in 1 or 2 more Omnis. Like,
do tell.
They do. Like, it's like either last minute. Sometimes David could be like, hey, wait a minute. Don't send that to
Stop
the press.
presses!
Stop the presses. We're going to go ahead and throw another omnibus in there. I love when they do that. They, unlike other companies where you expect things to get canceled, they add more Omnis to the already huge list that's coming out. So keep that in mind. This list, I mean, even though it's finalized, it's still like, we're going to get more stuff. So keep that in mind. Now, the other important thing is, if you are watching this, give us at least 24 hours before we can share on our social media the list. That way, people can be surprised as we're reading these one by one. I love people like being as surprised as I am as I'm looking through each one. And I'm like, oh, that's getting reprinted. Anyway, you all know how I am. Now,
what if somebody can't read? Maybe they'd like to hear it.
Maybe. Or what if they're deaf? Did you think about that?
Then that wouldn't spoil it for them?
True. And if they can't read, then why are they getting Omnis? Anyway, quit.
Can I say the first one?
No, yes, you can, but quit stalling for a second. Because one more thing. This is probably one of the most important things, is that last year I made a video in November taking the top 10 most wanted Marvel Omni reprints, right? And how I got those numbers were based on you all, our viewers. You went to our social media. We did a poll on social media like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you voted for them. Like, there were a lot of votes. It was really cool. So we'll do that again. So remember to join, and that is at Near Mint Con. Join our social media for that when we do these polls. And if you don't have social media, you can leave those comments down under the video. And one more thing. Let's get David on the show so everybody comment if you want to see David Gabriel on the show.
Okay.
So,
I was going to be bored, but that's not boring, so okay.
All right.
Let me stretch for 5 minutes.
She's worse than I am. All right, let's start with the first
one. The new Warriors Omnibus.
Okay.
Why is that near and dear to your heart, Omar?
So New Warriors is getting a reprint. It only had 1 printing, has 2 covers, and it is in my top 10 most beloved Omnis ever. Like,
good for you.
It is amazing. This is one that, didn't even make the top 10 most wanted list. David just decided to reprint it. I don't know if that's because he saw my video of me just going off about how wonderful this book is, or if he was like, New Warriors are supposed to get a TV show,
Or if you're David yourself.
I'm not.
It's your split personality.
I'm not David. Despite what some of my viewers think. No. I'm just a guy that makes videos, and I'm humbled enough to be able to announce these. So, yeah, New Warriors is coming out. It is the epitome to me of what a great 90s comic is or could have been, because a lot of people diss the 90s like, that's some horrible storytelling. That's some same repetitive artwork.
Just like you diss 90s music?
That's another subject. Okay. 80s is where it's at. Anyway,
okay.
But, to me, that run was as good as, like, Wolfman and Perez's new Teen Titans. It's almost as good as Claremont's Uncanny X-Men. So that run means a lot to me. So if you haven't read it, do yourself a favor. Read it digitally. Get the first trade. They're really cheap. And see if it's for you. While Tom DeFalco started off the Omni with his Thor, his Thor is awesome too. Those 2 issues don't really kind of give you an idea of what New Warriors is. Get to about issues 8 and 9. There's a lot of ties to X-Men, like the Hellfire Club and Firestar. Marvel Boy. Oh, it's wonderful. It's some of the best comics ever, and I'm hoping we'll get a volume 2. But anyway, dang, that went on too long. What's number 2?
How dare you share your passion? Number 2 is Uncanny X-Men number 2.
So Uncanny X-Men Volume 2 is coming out. That's getting a reprint. A lot of you have been asking me about that. A lot of you have been asking, when's this happening? Please let it happen. We're getting a reprint of Volume 1 this summer. Now we're getting a reprint of Volume 2. And I just announced Volume 4, which probably means...
Volume 100?
No.
How about 3?
Volume 3 is being reprinted
That's the third
as well.
one, Volume 3.
So Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 is also being reprinted. Volume 2 had 2 printings. Volume 1 is going through its 5th print. It should always be kept in print. It is a wonderful book, and it should be evergreen. Volume 3 has only had 1 printing.
Ooh, that's poetic. Evergreen.
Well, that's what we call it.
That's poetic.
Us in this hobby. But yes, Volume 3 is getting a reprint, so that's awesome. So Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, 2, 3, and we're getting a 4. You have no excuse to get some of the best comic books ever.
Well, to
unless
me,
you don't
that's
have any
the
money.
epitome of X-Men. Like, is X-Men.
Oh yeah,
That's my opinion.
Claremont's X-Men is where it's at. So.
I have some jewels, and I'm going to snap my fingers for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes, this was voted number 2 most wanted reprinted Omni on the list that I...
Oh, there are more than 5 stones.
Yes, there were. Did you not read or watch the movies? So
I can't remember.
I just announced Infinity Crusade Omnibus. And there's an Infinity War Omnibus. Now you can have the entire trilogy. Right at the time that Infinity Crusade is coming out, you can get the reprint of Infinity Gauntlet. There you go. A lot of people were like, not going to happen. They just had the box set. They just released the Marvel premiere. They got trade paperbacks. And...
You sounded like an infomercial. You're like, you've got this, you got this. Now you get Infinity Gauntlet for only $99.99.
I did wear a suit the other day that made me look like a car salesman because Latinos can only look like mobsters or car salesmen when we wear suits. But yes,
or handsome.
There is that. Anyway, Infinity Gauntlet is getting reprinted. That is a big deal. That was the number 2, which takes us to the next one.
X-Men by Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Volume 1.
She got to say it, not even me. And you all know I want to say this because this...
Say it again, say it.
Okay, so X-Men by Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Volume 1. You all asked for it. This is the number 1 most asked for reprinted book when we did the poll, when I did the video. And there you have it. This is Jim Lee, Chris Claremont. Not only Volume 1, but also Volume 2.
There you go.
Volume 1 and Volume 2 are being reprinted. That's how much. It's wonderful that we have a company. Like, it's crazy. I can't imagine of another, like, business like this that, actually listens to its fan base. Like, not in, like, anything I've ever been involved in, like, has a business said, well, like, there's some books that are out of print. Let's get these back out there. The fans want this. It's amazing. Like...
And I don't know anything about how Marvel works in terms of getting these published, but it seems to be that David Gabriel is the one to really thank, that he's the one that's listening.
Yeah, David, yeah, he really does. He is a big, he cares about the fans. And I think that's important. So, I do have one more. Now, this one is kind of interesting. So, because we're going to talk about why, and...
Ooh, can I hum the song for everybody to guess?
No.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot that was a 90s cartoon.
Warrior Without Fear.
Conan the Barbarian by Kurt Busiek Omnibus is being printed. Now, I say that carefully because it's been printed before in colossal format by Dark Horse. So this is the Dark Horse run by Kurt Busiek being printed from Marvel for the first time. That's why I didn't want to announce it with the other 15, because technically this has been published before in an colossal Conan format. And let me show you the difference real quick. The magic of editing. So here we have the Dark Horse Colossal Conan, and here we have the Conan, the Marvel years. So this is significantly bigger, right? And this is an omnibus size, which is huge to begin with. This is a big book. It's no joke. We don't know any details. We don't know how many issues. We don't know, how many pages it's going to be. And all we know is that it is Volume 1 of Conan the Barbarian, Kurt Busiek. I remember, talking to David about it. So I've asked already the question, are we going to get this? And they're still in the process of thinking, like, maybe not. I know bookstores don't like books this size because it's weird. It fit weird on the shelf. And
it's heavier than a baby.
It's a huge book. And the other thing is like, this is the Marvel way. This is the Marvel Omnibus format. If they start publishing this, then they can have another format. So I don't know. That's all we know so far. So those are the 7 reprints. This episode is sponsored by CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. I'll do another poll later on here in let a little breathing room here between these announcements to talk about, what else you all want reprinted. We'll start another poll on the Facebook group or Twitter and Instagram. And so keep an eye out on those. We'll release the full list sometime tomorrow. So keep it hush-hush until then if you don't mind. This has been a lot of fun. The fact that they're doing this just shocked the hell out of me. Because this is a huge whale. Everybody that's watching this right now is like, that is a huge whale. This damn book goes for like $600 on eBay. So now Marvel, they're reprinting it. Like, Conan's huge. We're getting this before we're getting King Conan from Marvel. It is a big deal. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. We are on Patreon. We're on Redbubble. If you enjoy the content of this channel and can support it that way, that would be awesome. And I guess all that's left to say is make mine Marvel.